Matthew Parker, De Antiquitate Britannicae Ecclesiae, Episode 6. Et cum hoc Tertullianus antiquissimus Ecclesiae pater, in Judaeos scribens de gentibus Christianum fidem amplexis, meminit Britannorum. As Parker continues, he mentions next the name of Tertullian, whom he calls Antiquissimus Ecclesiae pater. That is, a very ancient father of the Church. Antiquissimus and pater are masculine singular nominative as the subject, ecclesiae, of course, feminine singular and genitive, a first declension noun. And then, et tum, he uses here the temporal adverb tum, which is equivalent to something like illo tempore, at that time. And then at that time, or maybe even next, we have this, hoc. Hoc here is not easy to understand how it's functioning in the sentence. The reason I say that it is challenging is that it's not the subject or the object of any verb, and really I believe it's being used as an appositive with meminit Britannorum, but let's take a look. And then Tertullian, that most ancient father of the Church, when he writes scribens. Scribens is the participle, the present active participle based on the third conjugation verb scribere. As he is writing in Judaeos against the Jews, contrary to the Jews, this preposition in, when it's with the accusative, it can have a hostile sense, and that's what it has here. So Judaeos is masculine plural and accusative, much like Cicero's famous in Catilinam, which means against Catiline. It's a polemic. When he was writing scribens against the Jews, and then we're told the topic of his writing, de gentibus amplexis. So when Tertullian was writing against the Jews on the topic concerning the nations, de gentibus, who had embraced amplexis, the Christian faith. So gentibus is feminine, plural, and ablative as the object of the preposition de. It's modified by amplexis, which is the same gender number case. Amplexis is from the deponent verb amplector, like so amplecti, which is third conjugation. So on the topic of the Gentile nations who had embraced the Christian faith. And Christianum fidem is feminine singular, accusative, as the object of this participle amplexis. So although amplexis is passive in form, as a deponent verb, it can, and here does, take an object. So again, and at that time Tertullian, the most ancient father of the Church, when he was writing, or a very ancient, when he was writing against the Jews on the topic of the nations that have embraced the Christian faith, meminit Britannorum, he mentioned, or he remembered. Meminit is from the defective verb memini, like so, meminisse. It's called defective because it does not have all of its principal parts. It's the nature of the verb to remember that it would be missing a present tense. It's a perfective verb in its sense. The logic of it is perfective. He remembered, or he made mention of, the Britons. Britannorum is masculine plural and genitive. This verb memini patterns with the genitive, like so. And this leaves the question of hoc. What is it doing here? I say that we ought to take it as an appositive. And then there is this, namely that Tertullian, etc. This is an artist's depiction of Tertullian, who lived circa 150 to 240 AD, which qualifies him as Antiquissimus, one of the oldest fathers of the Church.